Hey YouTubers, Raven here,
Starfire.
and today we're talking about The Flash!
Season 7, Episode 13 and Episode 14, Masquerade and Rayo de Luz. Or Luz? I don't know. Rayo de Luz? Anyway, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it.
But we white as hell.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were both pretty good episodes.
It was a nice change from Legends.
Yeah.
From our opinions about Legends.
Mainly from my opinion.
It was a breath of fresh air, but I always feel like The Flash is like that. So.
Yeah.
At least for the most part.
Except for the Savitar season.
There have been times where I'm not really interested. But
yeah, I can generally look forward to The Flash.
But yes, I can genuinely look forward to it.
But the Legends was always like my safe place.
Yeah.
And
see, The Flash has kind of always been my safe place. Like, just because that's the one that I love the most. Yeah. So for me, like, it's always kind of been like that show that I know will make me happy or make me laugh or, you know, have something in it that, like, is inspiring or whatever.
Right.
So, I just like Legends because of the history and the time travel aspect and, like, the fun stuff and things like that.
Like, you can always look forward to Legends being funny and goofy and,
yeah,
you know, fun to watch. But, yeah.
But when they screw up characters, it's not fun to watch.
Right. Like, I never thought I'd be as mad at Legends as I am.
Yeah, we thought that review wasn't going to take that long, and it ended up being almost an hour.
Yeah. Usually Legends reviews takes like 15 minutes.
Like, yeah, 20...
Yeah.
Oh, it can be 20 to 30 minutes, depending.
Yeah, between 15 and 30 minutes.
Yeah, usually. There have been times where we've gone over, but
yeah,
if we're doing, like, 2 episodes like we did today.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
But these Flash episodes were pretty good.
They were. Like I said, you know, I really liked seeing Cecile and Barry get to have like those scenes together, like Grant and Danielle, because like we don't really get to see them like work together much. They don't usually have scenes together because she's usually with Joe or whatever, and so seeing them get to like have that episode together was nice because they're both really good at acting and you know that emotion and stuff, and so like getting to learn more about Cecile in that way and all of that was really nice.
I like how like Cecile played off her evil side. Like if you didn't know, like if there was no hints at all that she was not Cecile, this entire episode, before it was revealed, you could tell.
Yeah.
Like that it wasn't her. Simply by the way this chick was acting, and I loved it.
I also liked too how like her like eye makeup was darker and like you could just kind of tell that like her demeanor and like the way she was acting was different. And
like there was
just like subtle differences.
She was a lot more stiff too. Did you realize that? Like when she was
like almost like she was showing that it was physically hurting her to like be this way, to be possessed by this.
I think
like she was really trying to kind of bring out like the physicality of that, and I thought that was really like genuine because
I thought it was more so not that the actress was trying to bring out the physicality of what Cecile was going through, but that the thing possessing Cecile didn't know how to act.
That's what I was that's what I meant.
Right.
Like she's acting that way within the body, and so like she doesn't really know how to be, and so she's kind of got this like stiffness about her and rigidity. And so
it was really interesting. I loved seeing that.
Yeah.
You know? Like, there were bits here and there about her in the past, but you really saw it. Like, the bits in the past were just like, oh, Cecile's just going through something.
But that's probably also why, like, she's so empathic, is because she, in a sense, because, like, she's able to, like, she had that fear and she had that pain and that shame, and so she's able to really, like, feel other people's emotions because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's kind of what fueled her empath side in a sense, just because of that. I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I like to think that contributed to it.
Like, I mean, we've seen what Cecile was capable of when she went against Top in the meeting room when she was trying to talk to Top. And I like we saw that she had this other side to her where she could, even though she was scared of her powers, she was able to let loose and really go after Top. And I enjoyed that in this episode. We saw her come to terms with who she was,
right,
and her powers. And she went God mode on this bitch and took her down.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, girl. Like, oh my gosh. I was so proud of her.
Yeah, me too. Like, I love seeing when, I mean, even in, like, the second episode, like, just when you see them really tap into this side of their powers that they didn't know they had, and they're able to, like, use it in such a way that is good and, you know, saves people.
Because
and
Allegra was going through the same problem.
Yeah.
Like, she couldn't, like, she was more so, I think she was scared of her power. Because she saw what her cousin was capable of, and she was scared of doing the same thing.
Right.
Becoming like her cousin. And
so is that why she kind of didn't use her powers as strongly as Ultraviolet?
Because she was scared of the ramifications. Okay. Just like Cecile was scared
Because I was thinking when he said that they had the same powers, I was like, but she doesn't use hers in the same way.
She had to use... She does, but she wasn't able to do it without a focal point. Okay. She needed a crystal in order to focus her energy. Okay. Because, like we saw, when she was trying to use her powers to... So she had to have a crystal that she held that would focus the power in her hand and shoot it out. The crystal would act as the, like, magnifying glass and create a beam.
Okay.
Like,
that
you know, when you're trying to fry ants with that makes magnifying glass in the sun.
Like, it's ultraviolet light.
So she couldn't focus it into a beam, so she used the crystals to do that.
Okay.
And
it's been a while, so I was like, wait, right. You know?
Yeah. But that's why she always held something when she was using her powers, because she couldn't do it. Probably because even though she wanted to protect people, wanted to fight with her powers, which you could see because she was fighting with them just with a focal point. Kitty! She couldn't... there was something holding her back. And it's the same with Cecile. It was a fear of her powers and what she was actually capable of.
Right.
Because, I mean, Cecile saw the Thinker and was like, that's what I'm capable of. And then Psyche came along, and that's what I'm capable of. And then for her, it's like, my cousin, that's what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
I can go melt someone's face off. Was it her powers that changed her? Like, you know, like, was it not just her circumstances, but did her powers change who she was?
Right.
Because she used to be this incredible girl, then we got powers and she went, oh, fuck crazy. Like, you know, like, this is their mindsets. And so I enjoyed that in these 2 episodes. Yeah, hi, Kitty. That in these 2 episodes, they both came to terms with their powers and accepted them.
Yeah.
And used them to their fullest.
And I like, too, that we got to see more with Chester. Like, you know, still not, like, a whole bunch of, like, backstory stuff, but we got to see him really struggling with trying to figure out how he fits in the team.
Yeah.
And wanting to help, but also feeling like he messed things up because he didn't realize that Cecile wasn't Cecile.
Well, no one did, so he shouldn't have blamed... Someone should have pointed that out to him. None of them caught it, and they knew her longer than he did.
And Iris, talked to him and helped him understand, and and a lot of the things that he ends up once he's able to like really focus, and a lot of times things come to him spontaneously because he's just sitting in that chair, and then he's like, wait, the thinker chair, and then like the yin yang tattoo, like it's just things that just come to him.
Yeah.
But then he's able to formulate a plan and make it work. And so, the way that he thinks and uses that creative energy that he has,
Yeah.
So, there wasn't really anything I disliked about these episodes. I thought they were both really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really have anything negative to say.
No. And see, I was waiting for a certain scene in that first episode, because I knew it was going to happen. And, she didn't. She didn't know. And she freaked the hell out.
Oh.
During a certain scene in the first episode.
Yeah, when, like, he goes and he sees something on the floor in Chester, and then Barry's like, hey! And he, like, zooms in. And then Iris, I was like, wait!
Yeah, she freaked the fuck out.
I was so happy!
Yeah. I was just waiting for that moment.
I mean, it's not like I didn't know it was gonna happen. I just didn't think that, like, we'd get a scene like that in the next episode. So.
Yeah.
Because I knew, from the previous one that they were doing that. They were trying and everything, but
right. She didn't know they'd be caught doing it in the stacks.
And so that noise was probably something falling down, and then, like, Barry comes in. He's like, hey, And then Iris picks up, like, the helmet, and she's acting like she's doing something else.
Yeah, and then he's like, yeah. Like, I love how he's like, like, his hair, like, he had, like, a little hair like, a little bunch of hair right here that was kind of, like, sticking up at an odd angle, and he's just like, so, her hair's just like, and she's like,
and like fixing her shirt. Awkward.
Very. And I love that they continued that into the opening scene of the next episode.
Yeah, with them going on vacation, so that doesn't happen again.
And how the conversation got awkward because Chester was there, and he was more so talking to Chester, even though the two girls were there. And they're like, we're so fucking lost right now.
So, yeah, Frost is like, okay, cool.
Right? And Allegra's just like,
I'm out.
Okay. Y'all have fun, I guess? Like...
And it's been fun seeing Sue for the episodes, too. Like, seeing her back. Because I like her, and I like her snarky attitude, and, like... and then seeing her vulnerable when she was talking to Allegra, and them having that, like, connection and bond with, relating to what happened with, like, their loved ones and family.
Black Hole.
Yeah, with Black Hole, and it was just nice. And then the fact that she helped her, and everything was, I mean, like, there was a lot of really great moments. And then the little things between Chester and Allegra.
Yes.
The hug, and then they're like, they're all, like, awkward about it. And then at the end, like, she asks if he wants to get coffee, and then he's like, I was planning on doing D&D.
I was like, before they continued, Asher, he's like, I kind of have plans with my... I'm like, dude, she just fucking asked you, cancel your plans, go out on a date with this chick!
And she's like, well, I could join you.
Yeah, I was like, he was like, I kind of have D&D plans, so I was like, girl, you fucking joined him. And then she's like, I mean, I could. I was like, join you? And she's like, join you and bring coffee over. And I'm like,
I think she just wants to be around him. I don't think it matters if he's playing video games and she has no idea about.
I don't think this is a video game.
I think she just wants to spend time with him.
I mean, since he was wearing ears, I think it might be LARPing.
Oh.
Live action roleplay.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it could not be LARPing, but, I mean, it could be, like, you know...
I've heard of it, I just haven't seen it done.
The idea of the geeks down in Mom's basement, it could be that, you know, just rolling a dice on a thing. Or they could actually be LARPing, which would be interesting. I know there's actual groups that do that, and... It seems really cool, and I would love to try it out. But you know what? I don't know if I'm brave enough to dress up like something out of Lord of the Rings and go walking around my town, looking.
Is it kind of like cosplay?
Yeah, like you dress up like your character, and then you go around following like quest lines and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like that's LARPing, like live action. So you're actively going out and doing something.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, there are some people that dress up for sitting down with dice, you know.
Yeah, he's probably doing the LARPing.
Maybe. I wouldn't put it past him.
But it's just so cute. They're so cute and awkward and adorable.
Right.
I'm so excited to see where it goes.
I know.
Like,
and then their moment was interrupted.
Fucking course it was. Barry was all like, hey, anything happen? You know?
She's standing there with, like, bruises and scrapes and cuts. And she's like...
And he's got a sling on his arm.
Right, and they're like, no, nothing. And I'm like, dude, come on.
He'll probably fill Barry in.
Yeah, off screen, yeah.
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 But, I mean, yeah... Like, I'm just excited to see where it goes, you know? It's cute. Like, I didn't expect them to be the ones that they'd put together. But...
I mean, it works.
It does, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, he's really supportive of her. I mean, they are both new to the team.
I mean, she's not as new.
She's not as new, but, I mean, she wasn't... Like, even in last season, when she was trying to, like, come to terms with her powers and Nash and everything. Like, she's still, like, yes, she was part of the team, and she was part of the Citizen and everything, but, or not last season, the previous season, sorry. Even though, but, like, it felt like she more so revolved around Nash and the Citizen. That's where she lived. She didn't really hang out with the team.
Yeah.
She wasn't around Barry much. She wasn't around Cisco much or Caitlin. Like, this season you're starting to see her work more with the team. She started working a little bit more with the team last season than she did in the first season she was in. But, I mean, cause she was really just in, like, half of that first season that she was in, right? Like, the last half, and
season 6.
Yeah, when she came in, and then she was helping, when Nash found her, and kind of tried not to be a dick. And then you had the next season with Mirror Master and everything. Where she was starting to get more integrated with the team, simply because of the things that the Citizen was investigating, but she wasn't really working with the team per se. She just was around the characters a little bit more. But this season, you're seeing her work as Team Flash, and it's also Chester's first.
And she was calling him Chuck. Is that a nickname for Chester?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like. They're both new to this, so they're bonding over that experience.
And she's the only one who's called him that, too, which is super cute. Yeah. Like, I just think they're cute.
Right.
They're adorable.
They are.
And it's just so fun to see the beginnings of, like, that kind of stuff. on TV shows.
Right.
Because it's just like, you totally could see the chemistry and like that it would be so great.
Right.
And then like you're just living vicariously through them and you're just like, kiss, hold hands, hug. Oh my gosh, they hugged. It's the greatest thing ever. Like,
right? Like, to me, in their version of a relationship on this show, her volunteering to go role play with him is it's like the version of It's Still Beating. Like, I want to see what lines they use that's their version of You're Worth Being on Time For.
Yes.
I am living for this right now.
Oh, very. In the beginning, like, those first few seasons when he was pining for her.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. Puddle of goo.
Yes, she was.
Like, seriously. I loved them so much.
I loved them, but I didn't really have a couple really that I like really, really was invested in.
I get really, really into them when I am into them.
Mm-hmm.
And it just becomes like my life.
Right.
Not as much as it used to.
Yeah.
But I used to be so consumed by it. But I still am now to an extent, but not as much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Chuck and Sarah. Like, I still love seeing moments from them when I'm watching that show or, you know, when I'm watching other things. But I'm just not like, oh my god! Like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I do get excited.
Right. Like,
because even, you know, because it's Barry and Iris. They're epic. They're, like, one of the best relationships, not just in TV and movies, but in freaking comics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, superhero canon. They are literally one of the best relationships.
Yes.
In all of that. And in all of the universes of the comics, of the movies, of the TV shows. Like, literally, it's... Yeah. They're timeless.
They are.
Like...
They're iconic, just like
they're
Lois
iconic, yeah. Just like Clark and Lois.
Mm-hmm.
And so... And I mean, and I like them more than Clark and Lois. Sorry, but I do.
Right.
I mean, you know, we call them the Lois and Clark of the Flash. But overall, I just like them better as a couple.
Right.
So, yeah.
And, I mean, frankly...
And they will forever, always, to me, be Candace Patton and Grant Gustin. Like, even though the movie is different actors...
Yeah.
Like, for me, Barry and Iris will always be those two people.
Right.
Because they're the ones who brought them to life.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me. Because before that, I didn't know about them.
Mm-hmm.
Or before The Flash.
Right. So, that's awesome. They're awesome. The relationships they're going for in The Flash are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that they take their time with it.
Yeah.
And they really flesh out the,
And I don't necessarily care if Caitlin is with anyone, but Frost? That bartender?
Now he's free. Legally. And they can get it on.
Cue Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On.
Yep.
Or Sexual Healing, whichever one you choose. Just saying.
My mind flashed to, I used to have, we all used to have, like, MP3 players and stuff, right? Well, I had this little MP3 player, and it came with, like, maybe 2 or 3 pre-downloaded songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a song that was rather...
Suggestive?
Very... Something like, move your booty up and around. Let's take this body to town. Would you please act nasty tonight? Like, and I'm like,
is that a rap song?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard that. Probably.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, it's very, but like when you started suggesting those songs, my mind went straight to that one.
Because like, you said "Let's Get It On," and there's literally a Marvin Gaye song that's
I know that's the song I was thinking of, but then you went on to list another one, and then my mind just went
sexual healing.
Yeah.
No, I think "Let's Get It On" would be more appropriate.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, you could choose between the two.
Mhm.
Or play both.
Yes.
Whatever works.
But yeah, it's just I love how the Flash just takes the relationships and takes their time with it. Not necessarily how long they took with Barry and Iris, but that was also
but that's also because it was the main relationship, and a lot of times it takes them a couple seasons to build that.
Yeah.
Before they bring them together. And I'm used to that.
Right.
As long as it doesn't take like 8 years like Jag or freaking Who's the Boss or something like that.
Well, they wanted to get together in Jag before then.
I know, but Donald P. Belisario kept pushing it off until the freaking last 10 minutes of the last episode.
That's because they couldn't, and neither of them wanted to quit.
I know. Like I said, I don't have as much issue with the ending as a lot of people do, because I really liked their friendship and their camaraderie and their partnership. Mm-hmm. And, and I always supported them getting together and wanted that. But I was fine with the journey and all of the moments we did get.
Right. That show was more about the journey.
It was.
Not about the end result.
And I was fine with that because,
you watched the first couple episodes, you knew exactly what you were getting in for. That it was the journey of the relationship and not
also,
the relationship.
too, like, I had watched that scene with them where they get together in the last episode on YouTube before I, like, had seen all of the show. So I knew what to expect when I was watching it.
Right.
And so, for me, it wasn't as much of a, like, oh, I have to wait this long for them to get together. It was more like, okay, this is what I have to look forward to. And so...
See, I was watching it live as a child.
And so all the things in between and all those moments we did get and, like, the great stuff between them, I loved that because it was part of it. So for me, it wasn't as big of an issue. But...
See, for me, when I was a kid, I didn't care about the relationship stuff. I was too young to care about that. So, for me, by the time that, like, by the last 2 seasons, I finally got around to that age where I was thinking about relationships and,
well, because it ended in 2005.
Yeah, so that would make me 14.
Yeah.
So, like, the last couple seasons, I was more like, well, why aren't they together? Like, what's going on? And then, like, I understood the ramifications of if they would. Right. But then, like, I that didn't stop me from wanting it to happen.
Yeah.
So, like, I started getting frustrated.
I mean, there's certain things that, like, annoyed me or I wish were done a little differently or, like, they'd gotten together a little bit sooner or something like that. But I was okay with, like, all of the stuff in between that because I just liked them and I thought that they just had a really great friendship and relationship and always being there for each other even when they were with other people and him going all the way to freaking Paraguay to rescue her and freaking resigning his commission to save her and just things like that and so but I mean what I'm saying is that it typically takes a few seasons for them to really build up a couple to get them together.
The main couple, yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay.
I mean, I'm okay with Chester and Allegra taking 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, they might kiss this season.
I would rather them wait till next season for their first kiss.
Yeah.
I mean, not just because we're focusing on babies this season, but...
Well, that's going to be a focus next season, too.
Yeah, but she'd probably be pregnant next season.
Yeah.
They're not trying next season. Next season she'll be pregnant.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more like right now it's the honeymoon phase.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, they're just like, they're friends and they're just getting to kind of hang out and get to know each other and like have some dates and stuff.
Right.
So I'm okay, because there's only 4 episodes of the season left. So I'm okay if like we don't get that until next season.
Mm-hmm.
But like seriously, I'm happy with like any little moments we get. I
would be okay with a cheek kiss.
Yeah.
Like maybe the last scene we see from them.
Like I just think that they're just cute. So like any small moments we get is fine with me.
But like I think that like if the last moment we get with Chester and Allegra together this season within the next 4 episodes is like a cheek kiss and Chester being so flustered he doesn't know what to do, that would be the highlight of the season for me. That would be super cute. And then, like, it just, like...
Because I can totally see her being the one to make that move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chester wouldn't.
Like, he's too shy.
Mm-hmm.
He may be smart in, like, all the other things, like science and all that, but when it comes to girls, he's very awkward and shy.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of guys are.
They are. But, I mean, the fact that she, like, said she was going to join him and took that initiative... Like, she'd definitely be the person who would initiate that.
Yeah.
The first, like, kiss or kiss him on the cheek or something like that. So.
Yeah. I think their first kiss would just be like this, like, they're just watching a movie or something, you know, just something common that they would be doing, you know.
Like, and he does something funny or, like,
right.
And she just, like, really looks over at him and thinks he's, like, super adorable.
And he's just like, you know, and then, like, they both kind of start leaning in.
Yeah.
And then she just goes for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I, like, imagine for their first kiss.
That'd be cute.
Next season.
Yeah.
Next season. Not in the next 4 fucking episodes. Next season.
I mean, if they hold hands, or they hug, or we get to see them on a date or something, like, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
But I don't need a kiss right away.
Can you picture Chester on a date?
He reminds me a lot of... His awkwardness reminds me a lot of Barry. In the sense that he has the potential to really like her.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just awkward, and he doesn't...
I think his awkwardness, just in general, not just around her, because he's awkward.
Yeah.
He's that amount of awkward around everyone.
Right.
Is... basically the comparison of Barry's awkwardness around Iris.
Yeah. In the beginning.
Yeah.
Now he's confident.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's got the girl.
Yeah.
But
like when Sue was talking to him, you know, and wanted him to go talk to Allegra, he was acted surprised like she liked him.
Yeah, he's like
Allegra liked him.
Right. Like, he was like, we're just friends. She wouldn't take me. I'm like, dude, that's not how she meant that statement. She meant that Allegra likes you.
Yeah.
She will listen to you.
Yeah.
But fine, you be a little fuckboy by yourself.
But it ended up working out because, like, her and Sue bonded anyway. Yeah. So it was fine that she talked to her.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, yeah. But I really like the fact that, like, the themes of, you know, I think, like, what was it? Like Joe said, where he's like, you know, sometimes, what did he say about people you love or something like that when he was talking to Kramer? Or, like, they'll hurt you or you'll always fight for them or something like that.
Sometimes, I don't know, but, like, what I'm thinking of is, like, sometimes the people who hurt you the most or can hurt you the most are the people that you love.
Well, because, like, you know, there was the whole thing of Cecile fighting that fear that she had and not being afraid anymore, and then being able to come out of that and save her and Barry.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was Allegra being able to help her cousin by embracing
the love,
the love and family that she felt in her heart, and her power exemplifying that.
Yeah.
And So, I like how the Flash kind of interweaves those kinds of themes, like, and there's always kind of a lesson that you take away from it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really beautiful and special.
Yes.
So.
And I love that we didn't plan on her being away for these 2 specific episodes, but I love how they complemented each other.
Yeah.
They were like...
They were almost like they were like a second part.
Right. It was like we were watching a 2-hour episode.
Like it almost continued into the next part.
Yeah. I mean, especially with how they opened the second bit.
Yeah, because I mean the stuff with Cecile was dealt with in the first episode,
but
then you're seeing it happen with Allegra,
and we're seeing the continuation of Joe's story from that first episode to the second,
and the fact that Kramer is wanting him to help her.
I didn't see that coming.
She trusts him.
Right.
I didn't see that coming
I know that she trusted him.
Yeah.
Because, like, they both had that mutual respect for each other.
But the fact that she wants him to help her find her brother?
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought?
Right? Like, this is the guy that betrayed me. Let's find him together. Kick his ass. Like...
But she still cares about him, and...
Yeah. But, I mean, like... he... completely betrayed her. Like she is wounded by the fact that there's 12 seats unoccupied, and whether or not those seats have been reoccupied by other men or women doesn't take away from the fact that those seats should have been occupied by the people who aren't there anymore.
Right.
And that bothers her.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I fully understand that. Those people were your responsibility. And, like, whether or not it's your fault, at the end of the day, you were the leader on this mission, so you have to take responsibility. Like, there's no way around that. So those deaths were her fault in the eyes of the military. Like, those deaths were your fault. Because you didn't use your training, But at the same time, you don't suspect family. So that's why you don't suspect the people that you love. And that's why when those things turn on you, it's harder than anything to accept it or to see it.
Right.
That's why the majority of people who are kidnapped and whatever, that's why they always look at the family first.
That's
because you never think about looking there because you trust them wholeheartedly.
That's why Joe said, you're not stupid for that. Like, we all want to believe in them, and we all want to think that, they're who they are. Like,
yeah.
You're not stupid for fighting for that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's basically what those 2 episodes were about, was you're not stupid for fighting for your family.
Or for yourself.
Or for yourself, or believing in family, or yourself.
Yeah, because, like, Cecile had that guilt about not being there for her mom. And she had to deal with that fear and not be afraid anymore.
Right, and Allegra was dealing with the guilt about abandoning her cousin.
Yeah.
They both left someone alone when they needed them most.
Yeah.
But her mom gave her permission, Cecile's mom gave her permission to be away.
Right.
She wanted her to keep pursuing her dreams and didn't want her illness to take over Cecile's life. Yeah. Because a lot of times when your mom is sick with cancer, that's what happens.
Yeah.
You stop your life and you just focus on taking care of them.
Yeah.
Like, you see that a lot. Yeah. Like, not for everyone, but you see that a lot.
Right.
And her mom didn't want that to stall her rise in the legal system.
Right.
She wanted her to pursue her life.
Yeah.
So, I love that these past 2 episodes were so connected, and it was all about family. And, like, believing and trusting in yourself, and
believing in the impossible.
Basically. I mean,
yeah.
Allegra knew she couldn't stand up to her cousin. She wasn't powerful enough.
Yeah, and then trusting in her power and her and that love and that family that she thought about made it stronger.
Yeah. Like the dude said, your power feeds off your hatred. And it's like, well, even if that's true for her cousin, it's not true for her. They're yin and yang.
Yeah.
So if her cousin really does feed off hatred, which I kind of doubt, but like, if the amount of power her cousin was using was based off of hatred, then what kind of power would be released if you fed it love?
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, their power is the same as Barry's, because now it's not the Speed Force, it's the fucking Love Force, let's be honest here. And
it's almost like, it makes me think of that Once Upon a Time episode where, you know, it was Regina's mom, right? Where she was, like, saying love is weakness, and, like, Regina was, or Emma,
Mm-hmm.
Was it Emma or Regina, where she was like, love is stronger than, or something. Remember, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think...
Like, love was the power, or something like that.
Yeah, Regina was still dealing with what happened to her, first true love.
Yeah, Daniel.
Yeah, and she hadn't allowed herself to really love besides her father, which, you know, was a parental love. But she hadn't allowed herself to feel those types of feelings again, or to trust anyone besides her dad. And, when she killed her dad, she didn't trust or love anyone. And until, like, Henry, because she wanted to kind of, like, she wanted a legacy. Yeah. And she had lost the ability to do that. But, Emma came through and was just like, look, you don't have to be scared. Like, love conquers all. Mm-hmm. It's like in that Disney Channel movie, Twitches. Mm-hmm. Like, they're like, think light, light's the opposite of darkness. And then one of the twins is like, wait, no, I wasn't thinking about light when I saved my parents or when I faced the darkness all these other times. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about you and love and family. Like, I was thinking about you and family and how much I worried about you. And then they were like, love's the opposite of darkness. Blah, blah, blah. You know, like, love conquers all. It conquers.
It's the opposite of hate.
Yeah, it's the opposite of hate. It's the opposite of darkness. I mean, let's be honest. Hate is darkness. Darkness is hate. Mm-hmm. This is the same thing. So, obviously, love is going to be more powerful. Love conquers all. Like...
yeah, so it made me think of that. But, yeah, like I said, I like both of them. I don't have anything bad to say. They were both really good. And,
yeah. So... Until next time,
keep believing in the impossible.